Disclaimer, the information shared on this podcast is intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional advice, diagnosis, or treatment. We are not licensed therapists, counselors, or medical professionals, and the content shared here should not be taken as mental health, medical, legal, or financial advice. Always consult with a qualified professional regarding any mental health, emotional, or personal development issues you may be facing. Listening to this podcast does not create a professional relationship. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are their own and do not represent any official organizations or affiliations. While we aim to offer support and encouragement, your personal growth journey is your own, and you are responsible for any decisions or actions you take based on the content of this podcast. Listener discretion is advised for sensitive topics. Thank you for joining us, and remember you're not alone on this journey.
Universe of you.
Welcome to Season 3!
Heal and hustle.
Because you shouldn't have to choose between peace and progress.
It's time to start the third season with a banger.
Yes!
Last season, we ended with putting ourselves out there, gaining experience. Now, it is time to go get that job. And we understand that that is something a lot of students suffer with. Not suffer, but struggle with. And we understand it can be very intimidating. And there isn't exactly very much manual or a guideline provided on how exactly to go about it. So this episode is going to be your guide.
Today's episode is something so many of us has faced, especially in our 20s. And it's that feeling of sending out 50 CVs, checking your emails 100 times a day and hearing nothing. Basically crickets. And so this one's for every student or fresh grad who's wondering, will I ever get a job? Spoiler alert, yes.
You will. So even if you're jobless right now,
You're not hopeless.
yes. So let us bring in a guest speaker for you so you can get the most valuable and accurate information. Miss Uzma, the Partnership and Employability Support Advisor.
Yay, welcome to our episode.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to be able to talk to fresh graduates and students who are still striving to look for jobs and to talk to both of you. So thank you for having me here.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
The honor is ours.
Yeah.
We would firstly start this episode by sharing that we've been where a lot of our listeners are right now. Like, we have had times when we applied for so many jobs and heard nothing. Or even got rejected, and after like third or fourth interview, that hurts. We've even got fired. Like, I'll share this. I shared this in the previous episode. And that thing absolutely breaks you. But here's the thing. Truly, 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 rejection is redirection.
We had a whole episode with terms of rejection and how to face rejection and overcome it. And I think it's a really good thing that, universe selects you to get rejected and then
Yes.
learn.
Yes. Learning from them is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So my first question is to Miss Uzma that I have done so many times. Does spam applying to jobs actually work?
Absolutely, absolutely. You see, when you are looking for a job, the first thing is your attitude. You have to be very positive about it. And even if you don't get the response, there's no way that you can be disheartened. Generally, the rule of thumb is that you apply for about 100 applications, and out of those 100, it's quite likely that you're going to get 5 to 7 interview calls.
Yeah.
And out of those 5 to 7, you may be able to get 2 to 3 offers.
Yes.
And out of those 2 to 3 offers, you're going to select one. So you have to apply for jobs, but you have to be careful that when you apply for jobs, it's not the quantity that you're focusing on, but the quality
Yes.
with which you apply.
Yes.
Which means that you make sure that your resume is modified
Okay.
in accordance with the job description. So
Yes.
make sure you're using the keywords that are there in the job description, especially now than in the past because of the technology. Automatic tracking systems are being used, and they are the ones that are doing the initial screening in and screening out of
True,
CVs.
true.
Yes.
So the application tracking systems, also known as ATS, have been programmed to shortlist CVs that are not overly complex in terms of not having too many graphics in it. Keep your CV simple.
Okay.
Make sure it is aligned with the JD, and if possible, attach a cover letter with it.
Okay.
And cover letter should be different from your
CV,
resume,
yes.
so that the two complement, and present your profile as somebody who fits the job role. So job application is a key part of it.
Yes.
Okay.
And of course there are many other aspects which we are going to talk about, but never think that applying for jobs is not going to help.
So I understand that. You said, you have to tailor your CV according to the job description. Okay. What if you're applying to jobs that isn't necessarily in your field of expertise? Like I study psychology and business management, but I've had jobs more so in the communication industry or the marketing or the PR industry. So that's because I've had them through connections. If I had to apply to that field with, say, my psychology degree, how would I go about that? How would anybody go about applying to a job that isn't necessarily related or in their field?
So there are two things that you need to consider. The first one is be mindful of your career aspiration. You don't want to spend your time working in areas that are not in alignment with the kind of role you want to do in the future.
Yes.
And the reason we say that is the likelihood of you sustaining your motivation and drive is going to be far more in an area that is close to your heart.
True.
Right? So that's the first thing. You don't want to take any job. I don't want our students to ever be so desperate that they pick up the first job offer that is thrown at them,
Yeah.
right? So you be choosy, and that comes from internal confidence. The second one is you also don't want to take up a job that you were not going to perform well in.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
if your majors is psychology and you end up doing a job in marketing, one, it is not in alignment with what you wanted to do long term. Two, when you actually start working, you're going to struggle. So don't craft. By tailoring the CV in line with the job description, it doesn't mean you're crafting a JD, you're crafting a CV in a way that you are creating something that never existed.
True.
Yes, if you had worked in a particular area and you could extract aspects of that experience which are in alignment with the JD, then that makes sense. But don't bluff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody says, oh, bluff on your CV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people just put in fake experiences because no one's
Yeah.
gonna check it.
No, I think that's very dangerous.
Yeah,
It
because
is.
sometimes you have to put in like the reference number or something.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories where people call the reference and they're like, oh, if you get a call, pretend to be my manager.
Wow. You can extrapolate. You can extend your scope of work based on what you actually did. Because sometimes we are thinking, oh, this is what we did. But if you go one step backward, you did much more than that.
Yes.
And also from the ethics perspective, you don't want to start off your career based on something which was completely false.
Right.
Absolutely, yes.
It kind of doesn't make you happy
Yeah.
internally that, oh,
Yeah.
I'm lying to get a job.
Absolutely. You want to keep your head up.
Yeah.
So integrity is a large part of who you are.
Absolutely.
And you want to carry that integrity with you wherever you go. So once you're looking for a job, you take your whole self into it.
Right, right.
You don't want to start off your journey with, something which is not true.
Absolutely.
Which also brings us down to the next question. As you mentioned, you need to tailor your CV every time, like based on the job, basically. So what exactly should a CV include? And like how many pages should a CV actually be?
It's usually said it's supposed to be only strictly
Yeah.
one page, but I've seen a lot of people have like 2 to 3 pages
Yeah.
CV. Does that like put you
Back
down or
or
anything?
something? Because a lot of times, like fresh graduates like us, we don't have a lot to put on our CV, but then people just, I don't know from where they get information,
Yeah.
and they make it 3 pages.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help them.
Yeah, it
So
does
the
not.
matter of fact is that if you have less than 5 years of experience, which most of the students would, you stick to 1 page.
Okay.
So less is the new more when it comes to CVs.
True.
Yeah.
And recruiters and hiring managers are, they're very particular about their time. So they generally scan the CVs.
Yeah, okay.
And often they call it, they read it diagonally,
Okay.
right? So if you have a CV which is 3 pages long, that doesn't mean they're going to spend more time on your CV,
Mm.
right? So on the first page of the CV, that's the A4 size page. Make sure that your CV includes keywords. Your CV talks about experience that is in alignment with the job that you're looking for. You are really focused on your achievements, not your
Yeah.
accountabilities.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because it doesn't matter what was your responsibility. What matters is what did you do
Mm-hmm.
and what skills did you learn and what skills you brought to the table.
Okay.
True.
So that's crucial. When you're drafting your CV, make sure you wear the hat of a hiring manager
Okay.
or a recruiter.
Okay.
Think about what would you be looking for in a candidate
Mhm.
if you were recruiting,
Okay.
right? Be in their shoes. And then you'll know that it's very important. You're going to recruit people who can deliver,
Yeah.
right? Who can perform, who have the ability to learn, who can take feedback
Yeah.
so that they can adapt their contributions in line with what the leader is looking for.
Okay.
So have a section on skills in your CV
Mm-hmm.
and break down your skills into technical skills and
Okay.
your employability skills.
Okay.
Okay.
So when we say employability skills, these are skills like your critical thinking,
Yeah.
your ability to work within
Yeah.
a team, your language proficiency,
Yeah.
Okay.
your digital literacy. So
Okay.
choose 4 skills, technical skills,
Yeah.
and 4 employability skills that define you.
Okay.
Okay.
And constantly seek ways to develop your skills,
Okay.
right? So it's very crucial that once you're actually working in an organization, you have a sense of adequacy.
Yeah.
That sense of efficacy, self-efficacy is so crucial. And that comes from having a solid foundation of theory that you've
Okay.
studied
Mm.
in your academics,
Mm-hmm.
but also making sure that you have the skills that are needed in the world of work.
And you earlier also mentioned that we should have a cover page that like aligns with our CV. So I personally never made a cover page for my first initial internships when I entered the industry, but later on I realized that it is kind of necessary for like the people joining in right now.
Yeah.
So what exactly again is a cover page? Because back then I just used YouTube and I just like figured it out myself, which was initially wrong, but like I got help and then I got it fixed. So what exactly should like a cover page include, and what does a cover page do?
And how it is different from your main CV?
Yeah.
It is very different.
Okay.
So the intent of having a cover page is to fill in the gap
Okay.
between what you've included in your CV and the kind of a person you are.
Oh, okay. So it's
So-
more so who you are, not your job description qualities.
Right? Who you
Okay,
are
okay.
and how do you fit in
Okay.
that role.
Okay.
Because employers are interested in 3 things. What skills you bring with you,
Mm-hmm.
how could you contribute to the job,
Okay.
and finally, do you fit in,
Okay.
right? Because there could be somebody who is fantastic at their work,
Mm-hmm.
but do not have the team spirit,
okay,
cannot
yeah.
work in a team.
Mm.
Employers will not hire them,
Mm-hmm. True.
right? If it requires team contributions, right? So in the CV, you basically show your passion. You start off with saying, thank you very much. Or you can start off with, first of all, saying that I'm applying for this position as it was advertised on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
Okay.
dated this. So you provide a reference of what position you're applying for and where did you get this information from.
Mm-hmm.
And then you basically reiterate a summary of what you bring to the table. You
Okay.
can say that I'm a university student and I've had the privilege of working for 3 organizations doing these internships, right?
Okay.
And then the 3rd paragraph is going to be how that education and experience that you have fits in with the role that you're applying for
Okay.
and the
Oh.
organization that you're applying
Mm-hmm.
So your story basically.
Yeah.
for. Yes,
It's
absolutely.
kind of like how we had to write a college essay, kind of like that, but for
Yes.
jobs.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, you try to be succinct. You try to be succinct. You try to be eloquent in the way you've written, right?
Okay.
Because you don't want to write too much on your cover.
Yeah. It's supposed to
as well.
also be one page,
One
right?
page, ideally 3 paragraphs.
Okay.
Three short paragraphs, and the last sentence is really, thank you very much for the opportunity to apply for the organization, and I look forward to meeting with you in person to talk more about my credentials in detail.
Okay, that's wonderful.
So you leave them like that there is more and you can talk to me about it.
Yeah.
when we meet.
Exactly.
They keep them questioning type.
Right.
Yeah. There's one thing I do want to know. A lot of people make their CVs either on Word or through Canva templates.
Yeah.
And again, ATS scanner sometimes, the Canva templates, because of the icons, your CV will not be screened
Pushed
through
forward
the
also.
ATS. Is there any way to bypass or any way to tell that, okay, this template from Canva will not work with ATS, but this template can work? Is there any way that students can, be able to pick which template will actually work with the ATS?
That's a great question. You see, the challenge is there's not just one type of ATS.
Oh,
Different
okay.
organizations are using different ATS.
Mhm.
So the best way to deal with it is keep your CV simple.
Mhm.
Right? Do not have too many tables in it.
Mhm.
Many ATS have difficulty reading through the tables.
Okay.
Do not have images in it. in
What
that
if it's
sense.
your image?
Yeah.
Because a lot of
Photograph,
people require your image.
Face, yeah.
Yeah, photograph is perfectly fine, but ATS is not going to shortlist you based on how you look.
True.
True.
So photograph is more for humans.
Mm-hmm.
Once it is taken to the next stage,
Mhm.
where there's a recruiter involved,
Mhm.
they look at your photograph.
Mm-hmm.
And also with photographs, be careful. When you're applying for jobs in North America, for example,
Mhm.
do not include the photograph.
Oh, wow.
They
don't,
actually reject
Yeah, reject you.
Oh.
CVs.
Okay.
So when you're applying for jobs in North
Mhm.
America, do not include your CV
Mhm.
because it's biased, right? You're not
Okay.
going to recruit people based
Based
on
on
their
the-
skin color, for
Mhm.
example, or how they look, or how
Mhm.
they dress up.
Mhm.
You're going to be hiring people based on what they bring to the table.
Right, right.
But in UAE, I've learned it's quite fine to include your photograph.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it is not considered to be something that you shouldn't be doing. So it's perfectly fine. Just make sure that your photograph represents you in a very
Mhm.
professional way,
Mm.
Yes.
right? So dress up appropriately. Make sure that it's a headshot
Mm-hmm.
and it looks appropriate
Mhm.
for work environment.
Okay.
Okay.
But like a lot of times I don't feel comfortable putting in my picture because I'm applying to like a lot of places, and it's through like sites like LinkedIn or Indeed or like somewhere or the other, like Instagram at times. I kind of feel suspicious that my picture is there.
True. Yes.
So, I'm very scared. So, a lot of times I pull down my picture, but when I go to the second round of interview or third round is when I have to send something, like my details or something, I put in my picture as well.
I think that's a good idea, especially
Yeah.
for girls.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine not to put your photograph in your CV because it's going to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And when the time is right, you can always share your photograph.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I'm really scared, like the misuse of picture or
Yes.
anything, like the worst I can think of.
Especially with AI
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
expanding now, it is very concerning.
Very,
Absolutely.
very concerning.
And what you've said, it really reminds me of something more that students and job applicants need to be careful about.
Mm-hmm.
So it is fine to use AI tools
Mm-hmm.
to help with your CV.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can always attach your CV to ChatGPT
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the job description as well.
Mm-hmm.
And say to ChatGPT, please adapt my CV
Mhm.
based on the JD as a
Mhm.
first draft.
Mm.
Okay.
But when you do that, make sure you've removed your name,
Okay.
your phone number,
Okay.
and your address.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you never know where is that
Information
information
going.
going to ChatGPT.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
so
that's
true.
very valid. Absolutely.
So that's something that, and oftentimes we don't remember
Mm.
because we think of ChatGPT as a non-human.
Mm.
Right?
No,
It
yeah.
is a non-human, but at the same time, it's connected to the entire internet.
True.
Yeah, true.
and it
true,
may be
true.
using your CV as an example to other questions.
Concerning. Very concerning. Oh my god.
And also, I wanted to ask, so like for fresh graduates again who are just going for entry level internships, I would say, like rather than keeping it empty, like is it okay if we add like all of our volunteerings or like projects we have done in university, high school.
Even volunteering non-profits.
Absolutely, my dear. You see, students are not expected to have experience. It's great when you have experience. It helps you stand out.
Yeah.
And it helps you network. But any experience that you have gathered, whether it is volunteer work, whether it is community work that you may have done, or some kind of club that you participated in or founded in your high school, or even the academic projects and assignments that you do in your university, include them. So, for example, you may have participated in an event in your high school. Right? As you were managing that event with a team of 5 people, there's so many different individuals that you interact with. And that's a great experience. You can bring that experience into your interview questions.
Okay.
They can say, okay, give me an example of a situation where you had to manage a conflict.
Yes.
And of course, when we work in teams, there's always chance of conflict.
Yes.
True.
And it's okay to have conflict, but what is more important is, how did you handle that conflict?
Dealing with it.
Yes.
Dealing with it. And what is it that you learned from it? In a sense that what would you do differently next time around?
True.
Right?
Yes.
So those experiences are very valuable to employers. So from your perspective, when you're drafting your CV, make sure that you identify experiences, whether volunteer work or any assignments that you did or any project work or a company that you founded in the CV in such a way that it paints a picture about you. It tells your story.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
As even for you guys, you sort of founded a company by the name of Universe, right?
Yes.
For you. So that's a fantastic story. That shows that you guys are visionary. That shows that you have the ability to take an idea, execute it, and convert it into something that is tangible. Right? So that is something that you should talk about in your interviews. That is something you should mention on your CV. Even a small club that you may have founded, it could be a singing club, it could be a dancing club, which has got nothing to do with academics.
Yeah.
But the fact that you could take an idea and convert it into something shows you are entrepreneurial, right?
Yes.
And that is of great value,
Yes.
much more than your ability to develop a spreadsheet.
Yes. True.
So
that
true.
can be learned
Yes.
in 2 hours.
Yeah. So I just had this one last question before we move on. So a lot of companies in UAE, in Dubai especially, they won't hire you because you don't have experience. Like, I'm a fresh grad, from high school, and I'm looking for internships for experience.
Yeah.
And you're telling me I don't have experience, that's why you can't hire me.
Even like actual graduates, not just like university, high school graduates, like bachelor graduates, they also don't get a job. And if they want to study masters also have requirement like, oh, you need to have like 1 year or 6 months of working experience. So you can't study further, but you can't work either.
No one's just accepting you anywhere. That's like kind of...
Catch-22. It's a catch-22 as we call it.
Okay.
If you don't have experience, you don't get the job. If you don't have the job, you're not going to generate the experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
True.
So it is a dilemma that a lot of students face. Even people with many years of experience, oftentimes when they move from one industry to the other, they may not have the same experience because their industry is very different.
True.
But what is important for students in particular is continue to gain experience through volunteer work, community outreach related work, include academic projects that you may have done as part of your assignments. That's why think carefully about the assignments that you're doing. Make sure they are in alignment with the kind of jobs you're looking for. And even the work that you may have done as part of the council members or student leaders in the university, or participating in an event in your high school, all of that, try and put it in front of the employer as experience that you have gained over the years. Right?
Sure, yeah.
And along with that, make sure that you are developing your craft.
Okay.
So whatever is your field of interest, whatever is your career trajectory, make sure that you are developing technical skills in order to showcase to them that yes, I may not have direct experience in finance, for example, But I have a lot of experience working with people. I have a lot of experience with technology.
Okay.
And these are some of the things that I've learned in finance in my university.
Okay.
Right? So if you are convincing the employers, sometimes employers are asking you to sort of,
Sell yourself to them?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So communication skills work here the best.
Yeah, especially
communication
during interview,
skills,
right?
Very important. And self-awareness, my dear.
Yes. Yes.
Be more aware of yourself and constantly seeking ways to develop a good repertoire of skills.
Yes.
It's a very intentional process.
Okay. Moving on to interviews, everybody says use STAR method or an elevator pitch. What is your take on it?
So elevator pitch, my dear, is crucial. An elevator pitch basically means that you are letting the employer know who you are in about 45 seconds.
45 seconds only.
Right.
You want me
Okay.
to tell like 20 years of my existence in 45 seconds?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why it's called as an elevator pitch. So elevator pitch means the time you entered into the elevator, and maybe there's a CO standing in the elevator,
Yeah.
and the time it takes for the elevator to go up, open the door, and the CO is out.
Yeah.
So in a very succinct way, again, less is the new more. And that's why we tell our students to rehearse
Yeah.
their elevator pitch. Write it down. Practice it 5-10 times in front of the mirror
Yeah.
so that you're able to tell the employer who you are, right? It's elevator pitch is basically an answer to the question, tell me about yourself,
Yeah.
right? So keep it very brief. If you're not able to do it in 45 seconds, 60 seconds is, I would say, the maximum,
Okay.
right? And I always recommend to my students, and that's something that I've done over the past as well, that you make a resource diary for yourself.
Okay.
So once you're preparing for your interviews, in that notebook, write down the question
Yeah.
and the scenario that you're going to talk about.
I have that on my laptop.
Amazing.
Yes.
And every time you go for an interview, you rehearse those.
Yes.
Then after doing it 3 to 4 times, it's going to become very comfortable for you.
True.
And you continue to build on. So when you went for an interview and if there was a question you were not able to answer, write it down in that resource
Yeah.
diary. And then prepare for it.
Yes.
Right? So you're filling in the gaps. One of the great things that interviews do to you is helps you identify gaps in your skill set.
Yeah.
True.
True.
So even if you're not actively looking for a job, continue to apply and sit for interviews.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that you're constantly able to gauge how well your skill set is relevant to the market that you are focusing on. Employers are interested in your profile. They're very interested in recruiting the best candidate. And they're not trying to make you feel nervous or inadequate during the interview process. They're just trying to understand your passion, how self-aware are you, how much awareness do you have about the job and the industry, right? And so on. Because at the end of the day, they really want to recruit you and help you be part of the team.
Right.
Is it okay to stumble while you're having your interview, or do you have to be like absolutely professional at it?
It is perfectly fine to stumble.
Okay.
I mean, it's very important that your response to a question should not seem robotic.
Yeah,
Okay,
like we're
yeah.
humans, we need to show that.
Yeah, and authentic. You have to be your authentic self. So you prepare, but that doesn't mean you're memorizing
Okay.
the responses. You prepare by remembering these are the 3 key points I'm going to talk about. And that's why language proficiency is so important. Once you have good command in English, then you can always, convey your response in a way that it's easy to understand. But it's perfectly fine to stumble. Not out of nervousness,
Out of human nature.
about the fact that we are all humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's okay to take a little bit of time or pause before you start speaking.
react. We spoke about CVs, we spoke about interviews. Now let's talk about how do we apply and where do we apply?
Yeah.
So again, this is something that you have to do in a multifaceted way.
Okay.
So job applications, of course, LinkedIn is a platform that is being used enormously by employers. And I remember when I was recruiting doctors for
Okay.
healthcare industry that I worked in.
Okay.
We were actually sourcing doctors from LinkedIn. That was our primary mechanism for
Okay.
identifying people who fitted the job role. Right? So
Okay.
we weren't advertising. We were going into LinkedIn and looking for specialists.
So company was going through the profiles.
Yes.
Mhm.
So going through as a
Okay.
recruiter, you can go through the profiles and then you would send a message to the person you say.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's how I've gotten like 2 of my internships as well.
Oh, that's
They reach
wonderful.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I realized that for that I need to always keep my LinkedIn profile up to date
Yes.
and like very presentable
Mhm.
so that like I never know who's coming across my profile and who can just, hire me in like by one message.
Exactly. And for that as well, you have to block a time in your calendar and say, this week, for 2 hours, I'm going to focus on my LinkedIn profile.
Yeah,
I
I
need to
do that.
I need to do that.
I did that like earlier back then when I realized okay, LinkedIn has a lot of value in this industry and I just took it as like some casual platform.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing is Indeed.com is considered to be very successful for students.
Okay.
And there are some employment sites like Bayt.com, BAYT.com in UAE. That is very helpful in terms of looking for jobs.
Okay.
But other than that, networking is a large part
Oh yeah.
of how you're
Yeah.
looking for jobs. And for students in particular, they start off with their inner circle. And
Yeah.
your inner circle is the lecturers you have on the campus because
Yes.
they have contacts
Mm-hmm.
with the industry. The students, right? Your fellow students may be able to help you make connections.
Through
Right?
referrals.
Yeah.
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 Somebody's father may be working for a company.
Yeah.
Somebody's sister may be working for a
Yeah.
company, or that student himself
Themselves
or
is
herself
working.
is working for a company.
Yeah,
They're
true.
looking for additional interns.
Mm.
But the important thing for us to remember in networking is that it is not just a matter of taking. If you want to network effectively, you have to give as well,
Okay.
Yes.
right? And that's how you build trust.
Mm.
So if somebody is looking for a job, you provide them the guidance and you
Yeah.
can say,
Yeah.
okay, I'll take your CV and I will give it to my supervisor.
Yeah,
Maybe they are
exactly.
interested. And when you do that, when everybody does that, then there is a lot of give and take that's happening.
Yeah.
True.
And that is where you see great returns from networking. And even take initiatives such as you can go up to a particular person, you feel whose work is in line with the kind of jobs you want to do, and say, is it okay if I chat with you
Yeah.
for 30 minutes? Just walk me through what your day is like. How have you developed your skills? What do I need to do?
Yeah.
So sometimes when you actually talk to people about advice, they feel elated.
Yeah.
They really feel good about it.
They do.
And they start taking ownership of you. Because in that process, they feel that they're mentoring
Yeah.
a young person.
Yeah.
And people love to mentor.
Yeah.
True.
So true.
So true.
And then that's one person you've won
Yeah.
within the team. So tomorrow, if there is an opportunity for work, that individual will say, oh, she's wonderful.
Yeah.
I strongly recommend you hire her. She fitted in well. She was, making good connections with everybody, blending in. And that's very important, that people should have positive views about you.
Yes,
So true.
absolutely.
Right? So if there's a conflict situation, oftentimes students don't know. Sometimes somebody would say something to you which is completely wrong, right? Literally you're saying, oh my God, you're saying this to me? But at that time, just chill. Just clarify, oh, I'm sorry, I was misunderstood. This is what I was trying to do. I hope I have clarified it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right? There's no point putting yourself in a situation that creates a scene.
Right.
true.
Right.
Right? You're too early in the career.
Yes.
To create a scene.
Yeah.
So it's important that you carry yourself in such a way that people generally have good impressions about you. And that keeps you in peace as well. I've learned when you have good relationships with everybody, you're peaceful. No complaints.
Yeah.
You're very focused on your goals. People can say and do whatever they want to.
Absolutely.
But you're going to be very laser focused on where you want to
Absolutely.
be.
Yes.
So true.
Yes. The final question for this episode. The waiting period that we all dread. Any advice for that period?
When you applied for a job.
Yeah, and you're
And you're
waiting to
waiting.
hear
Yeah.
back. Yeah.
So one thing is that when you applied for a role
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't heard back,
Mm-hmm.
You can always follow up. I would say in a week's time, 7 days, give them 7 days and send a gentle email. Or if you have a phone number, you can send a gentle WhatsApp message and say, I remain very interested in the role and I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Would it be possible for you to give me a status of where I stand?
Absolutely, yes.
So that's perfectly fine. But even when you've done that and nobody responds to you, I would say move on.
Okay.
Because it's quite likely that it's not that the job that has been advertised is something that is not in alignment with your profile. There's so many things that happen at workplace, right? There could be a change of priorities.
Yeah.
There could be a change in budget.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a change in the person who is hiring. Maybe the position has been put on hold. Maybe there's an internal candidate who's being considered,
Yeah.
right? So you may have done very well, but unfortunately, something else has happened which is beyond your control.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and a lot of times people blame themselves. Maybe I was not
Good enough.
Yeah.
good enough for the company or something like that. Negative thoughts start coming in, like they're not responding to me. Am I like that bad? Do I
Am I
have
not
nothing?
worthy? Yeah.
Do I have nothing to give to a company?
Yeah.
That time we try to be as positive as we can,
Yes.
Yeah.
but it still doesn't help.
Right. You get upset.
Yes.
You
Very
get
upset.
frustrated because you're not hearing back. But we know that getting upset is not going to help.
Yeah.
Right. What is going to really help is staying positive, continuing to apply,
Yes.
and trying to make the most out of the opportunity that
Absolutely.
might be offered to you.
Yes.
So true.
So the final message for our Verses is that a job rejection or not hearing back from companies or a paycheck does
Doesn't
not define
define
you. You know your self-worth. Be aware of yourself. Keep working on yourself.
Yes.
And we will always be there for you.
Yes, and for positive affirmations and just to keep a positive mindset, we also have affirmations going out every day. So check that out on our Instagram. And we also want to thank Miss Usma for such insightful information. It really helped us a lot, and I'm pretty sure
Absolutely.
it helped Verses a lot as well.
And you're very welcome. We're looking forward to many more collaborations in the future.
In-
And
yes.
all the very best of luck to you.
Another episode down, and you're one step closer to leveling up your life.
Stay true to yourself and connected with us. We'll see you in the next episode.
We've got your back.